Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos on lesson content.
Got no place to be, got no place to go. Come hang out with me on the Mr. Flanders Show.
Hello everybody, Mr. Flanders here, back at it with our math for the week. And right now we are getting ready to look at Guided Class Practice 121A. As I was stating in our previous lesson, and as I remind you guys with each lesson, we do A-sides and B-sides for our guided class practices as well as some of our other worksheets. So, after we go over this worksheet together, you are expected to flip it over and go over this side on your own. If you were doing this in Google Classroom, you don't have to worry about flipping anything. All you have to do is worry about scrolling to the next slide. But for now, let's go ahead and jump back into it and look at Guided Class Practice 121A. Okay, so we're going to run into some new stuff on here and some stuff that we have seen before. Oh my goodness, what is going on? Unblur. Better, thank you. Okay, so excuse me. So yeah, we're going to see some new things on here, but nothing too crazy. Otherwise, it's just some word problems, making some number sentences, looking at some graphs, and then also doing some addition and subtraction, and talking about some perpendicular line segments. It's all pretty standard stuff, right, guys? Right. Well, on that note, I say we just jump right into this stuff. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's look at number 1. On Monday, the cafeteria served 254 hot lunches. On Tuesday, they served 329 hot lunches. How many hot lunches did they serve on these 2 days altogether? Now, before we really start breaking this down, I want you guys to remember what this word altogether means. You are going to run into this word a lot through your whole academic career. What I mean by that is you're going to see that a lot throughout the entire time you're in school. Okay. Altogether, do you guys remember what it means? Okay. If you see it in math, it means add. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these two numbers, 254 and 329. We're going to add them together to figure out how many hot lunches were served over those 2 days. Now, if you are doing this at home in the work packet, this is your workspace. If you are doing this in Google Classroom, your workspace would be here, but I don't want you guys to worry about typing and moving numbers and things like that, so just use a scratch piece of paper. But please follow along as we break this problem down. So, our workspace, we're going to write 254 plus 329. All right, we're just going to add our numbers together. We're going to start on the right side. 4 plus 9 is 13. I'm going to regroup my 10. Okay, so we've got our extra 10 up here. It looks like a 1, but it is a 10. So we've got 5 plus 2 is 7. Okay, so that's 7 plus this 1 up here that also acts as a 10. That is 8. And then 2 plus 3 is 5. So we know that between the 2 days, they all served 583 lunches in the cafeteria. Okay? What we're going to do is we're going to write our number sentence. It's going to be 254 plus 329. And our answer for 254 plus 329 is 583. So we're going to write 583. And for our answer here, we're going to write 583 lunches. Okay? Now, remember, guys, when you are doing your math like this and you're seeing that, there's pretty big numbers, don't get overwhelmed by it. Don't look at it and go, oh my goodness, look at this. It's got 3 digits that we have to add together. It's okay, guys. Just do each part of the problem one step at a time, okay? Just take it one step at a time. So remember, I did 4 plus 9, and then I did 5 plus 2, and then I did 2 plus 3. I didn't go, oh my goodness, 254 plus 329 automatically equals 583. I took it a step at a time. Okay? Another thing I want you guys to remember, and I know we went over this right before we broke down the problem, that word altogether. One more time, I'm going to remind you, altogether means add. Okay? Okay. If you need to take a couple of extra seconds to get that done, please do so. You may pause the video. I will not judge you for it. For everybody else, let's go ahead and look at number 2. Number 2, we've got a graph that we are working on. It says 12 children chose vanilla ice cream. 9 children chose chocolate ice cream. And 5 children chose strawberry ice cream. It says shade the graph to show the ice cream flavors the children chose. Okay? If you're doing this in Google Classroom, you'll notice in this below area here, there are some bars you can move to put in the right spot. For everybody else, you can use a pencil, you can use a pen, you can use a crayon for the coloring in spots. Okay? Let's go ahead and look at our first area. It says 12 children chose vanilla ice cream. So the first area we're going to work with is vanilla. And it said 12 children chose vanilla. So we're going to shade from here all the way to where the 12 is. Okay? So here we go. There we go. Okay. If you want to color in the squares all together, you can do that. Okay. I'm going to move on though to our next part of the graph. It says 9 children chose chocolate ice cream. Okay, so I'm going to find chocolate here, and it says 9. Now, down here, do we see the number 9 at all? No, we do not. So we're going to put our graph for chocolate. We're going to start at the beginning, but we're actually going to work all the way to the middle of this square here, because that would show number 9. Because if you'll notice down here, it says 8 here, and then 10 here. Well, we know that 9 is the number right here in the middle, so that's why it's going to line up right there on our graph. Okay? I'm just going to color in, right there. See? I'm not making this graph touch the 10 spot, because that is not where it should go. It should go halfway to that spot to show that it stopped at 9. And we're going to do something similar with strawberry, because it says 5 children chose strawberry, but there is no number 5 down here. Instead, I'm going to look for the numbers 4 and 6. And I'm going to put a little dot right here in that box in between the two to show that is where my graph is going to stop, or the bar for my graph is going to stop. Okay? And that's going to show me that 5 children liked ice cream, or strawberry ice cream. Okay, so we've shaded the graph. Now let's move on to this next part. It says, how many more children chose vanilla than chocolate? So what it's asking us to do is see how many more people liked vanilla over than chocolate, and we just have to subtract for that to find out how many more children did. Okay, so right here next to this, if you're doing this in your paper packet, you're just going to write 12 take away 9, and that I'm going to give you guys a second to work on that. If you're doing this in Google Classroom, don't worry about working it out on the sheet. Just use a scratch piece of paper. Okay. So everybody, what is 12 take away 9? That would be 3. Okay. So how many more children chose vanilla than chocolate? 3 more. Boom. Okay. Very good, my friends. Very good. Okay, let's look at number 3. Number 3 says, label these arrays. Uh-oh. Well, here is the new thing I was telling you about. Okay, what exactly is an array? An array is an arrangement of objects, pictures, or numbers in columns and rows. Thank you, Mr. Flanders, for helping out with that. So we know that an array is an arrangement of pictures, of information, objects, of numbers in columns and rows. So you'll notice here our columns are going down and our rows are going over. Okay, we've got 2 shapes that we are going to worry about for our array assignment. we've got a long rectangle here, and then a pretty stubby rectangle right here. The first thing that we need to do to find out how to label these arrays is we need to count our top rows here, okay? And that'll be our number here. So let's go ahead and count. We're just going to count this top row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to write the number 7 here. And then for our column downward, all we need to do is count how many there are going down. 1, 2. So I'm going to write 2 right here. And then the next part of this question asks the number of tiles that are used. Now we could do this two different ways. We could count the tiles, or we could do 2 times 7 to figure it out. We'd get both answers. I'll leave it up to you. Me personally, I am just going to count the tiles. So we already know that there's 7 up here on the top, and then I am going to count the next 7 down on the bottom. So we're at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We know that the number of tiles used is 14. Okay? You'd also get the same answer if you counted by 2s. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Okay? And then it says right here, blank times blank array, or 2 by 7 array. Sometimes when you see this X here, it can stand for times or by, and they basically mean the same thing. Okay, let's go ahead and look at our next array. Okay, our next array is right here. Let's go ahead and start with our column going down. We'll see how many squares there are. 1, 2, 3, 4 going down, and how many are going across? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we know that there's 4 in the columns, 3 in the rows, and it's going to ask us number of tiles used. Again, we could just count them. We could also do 4 times 3. We could try counting by 4s. We could try counting by 3s. I think that'd be a little tricky. Let's just go ahead and count the tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Number of tiles used? 12 tiles were used. And then we are going to put 4 by 3. We have a 4 by 3 array. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on to number 4 now. Okay. Number 4 says use a crayon to trace a pair of perpendicular line segments into problem 3. Now if you're doing this in Google Classroom, obviously you're not going to be able to use a crayon. So what I've done is I've actually made a couple of perpendicular line segments for you that you can drag and drop onto your shapes. Everybody else, a perpendicular line segment, if you remember, it is a 90-degree line segment, or it is a right angle line segment that looks very similar to like an L or just a corner, okay, like that. So that's one line segment, or a pair of line segments. I'm going to do another one here as well. Okay, and those would both be perpendicular line segments. Okay, it's no big deal if you use pen for this or crayons, whatever you guys want to use at home. If you're doing this in Google Classroom, like I said, you've just got to move the shapes onto those shapes up there. All right. Let's go ahead and look at our last part of our guided lesson together. And we're just going to find the answers of these things, guys. Pretty easy stuff. So we're going to start with 2 takeaway problems, and then we're going to have 2 addition problems for the end. Let's go ahead and start with 725, takeaway 416. Okay, so we've got 5, takeaway 6. Can I do 5, takeaway 6? If I have 5 fingers, can I take away 6 of them? No, I've only got the 5 fingers. So what we're going to need to do is regroup. So we're going to turn this 2 to a 1 or a 10. And then we're going to take that extra one we just grabbed and put it right there. So it's no longer 5, it is now 15. 15 take away 6 is 9. 1 take away 1 is 0. And then 7 take away 4 is 3. So 725 take away 416 is 309. Good work on that one, guys. Let's go ahead and look at our next math problem, which has to do with money. And before I even begin taking away, I'm going to put the dollar sign here, because if you notice, we have dollars and a decimal point, so we need to use the dollar sign, not the cent sign, even though we have cents on this side. Okay? Let's go ahead and start on our right side. 5 take away 2 is 3. Okay. 7 take away 9 is, well, you can't do 7 take away 9. If I have 7 fingers, I can't take away 9 of them. I've only got the 7. So what we need to do is regroup using this 3. We now turn this 3 into a 2. We put the number we just snagged from there over on the 7. It is now 17. 17 take away 9 is 8. We're going to put our decimal point that separates our dollars from our cents. Now we've got 2 take away 1. Well, what is 2 take away 1? That is 1. So we now know $3.75 take away $1.92 is $1.83. Fantastic. Okay, now let's go ahead and jump into our next problem, which is an addition problem now. So we're no longer taking away, we're adding. We've got 287 plus 15. Let's go ahead and start on our right side of the question first. So we're going to do 7 plus 5. What does that equal? Well, it equals 12. We're going to regroup. Then we've got 8 plus 1 is 9, plus the additional 1. That is 10. So we're going to put the 0 from the 10 there. Put the 1 from the 10 there, or just the 10. And then we've got 2 plus 1 equals 3. So 287 plus 15 equals 302. Good work. And then our last question for this worksheet is a money question. So we're going to start by putting our dollar sign, because this has to deal with dollars and cents. If it was just cents, we'd use the cent sign. We've got $6.29 plus $2.81. Okay, let's go ahead and do 9 plus 1. 9 plus 1 is 10, so we're going to put the 0 there, put that 1 right there. 2 plus 8 is also 10, plus the 1 is 11. We're going to put our decimal point there to separate our dollars from our cents. And now we've got, oh, we forgot to carry that one, or regroup, sorry. Okay, so now we've got 6 plus 2 equals 8, plus our extra 1 there. 8 plus 1 is 9. So now we know that $6.29 plus $2.81 equals $9.10. All right. That is it for me on this worksheet, ladies and gentlemen. But if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know. Otherwise, the expectation is A side is for us to work on together. B side is for you to work on your own. We already went over this at the beginning of the lesson. I'm just reminding you, though. Other than that, guys, I'm going to prep for our next lesson. I will see you there in just a little bit. All right, ladies and gents, here we are again, back at it with the second half of our lesson today. We're going to be looking at Fact Homework Worksheet 122. And if you look at this and think, hey, Mr. Flanders, this looks very similar to what I've already done in the past, well, you're not wrong. But this is the next worksheet we will be working on, just because it will help reinforce the idea of multiplication and grouping for you to continue learning the next steps in multiplication. I'm not going to go over this worksheet too much since we have already basically gone over this stuff before, but a couple of reminders. First off, on this number 1 area, you're going to be filling in the products. Okay, now if you remember, products, they are just the answers for our multiplication questions. Okay, so for example, 0 times 3, well, can we multiply a 0 times a 3? No, you can't multiply 0 by anything. The answer is always going to be 0. Okay. Our next one is 1 times 3. What's the product going to be for 1 times 3? Well, if you remember, anytime we multiply a 1 by any other number, whether it's 3, 5, 7, 256 million, it's always going to be that other number. It's never going to be 1. So in this instance, 1 times 3, the product would be 3. Okay. For our last one in this area, 2 times 3. Okay. Remember, this is saying you have 2 groups of 3. So you are going to make 1, 2, 3. That's group 1. 1, 2, 3. That is group 2. Let's count them all together in order to find our answer or our product. So 2 times 3. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So our answer is 6 for 2 times 3. Okay, and I'm going to leave that there for you guys to look at as we move on to the next part of the worksheet. But if you have any questions with that, please feel free to reach out. But it's very much the stuff that we've done in the past. You're just grouping. Okay. For number 3, you're going to be filling in the missing factors. So what you're going to do is, after you finish this top part here, you are going to be looking for the products on this side. You'll see blank times 3 equals 15. Okay, so the product is 15. You're going to be looking up here to find which question ends in 15. And then you're going to plug in that missing number. Okay? The best thing I can tell you right here, the easiest example I can show you, since we haven't done all these questions up here, is blank times 3 equals 0. Okay, well, we're going to look for the question that has the product of 0, which would be our very first question up here. It says 0 times 3 equals 0. Down here it says blank times 3 equals 0. So what number is missing from our question to give us this product? Well, let's see, 0 times 3 equals 0, blank times 3 equals 0. We are missing the 0. Okay? That is what we are missing. Again, make sure as you are filling in this worksheet, you are looking for the products, the answers you get from the questions up here. Okay? And the last part of this worksheet is matching our questions. So it says match the problems to the answers, to the products on this side. So our questions are here, answers are here. We've got 2 times 3. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to draw a line from 2 times 3 to the answer on this side. And we know, because over here it says 2 times 3 equals 6, we know that 2 times 3 on this side is also going to equal 6. So we're going to draw a line, 2 times 3, 2, 6. And if you're doing this in Google Classroom, make sure you are using the line drawing tool. Okay? Other than that, like I said, we've done this worksheet before, so I don't want to talk to you guys about it too much. I don't want to waste your time on it. I know you guys can do this. I believe you guys can do this. But if for whatever reason you do struggle with it or you need a little assistance, let me know. I would be more than happy to sit down and walk you through the process. So reach out to me on Class Dojo, Flipgrid, whatever you got to do, because I would love to help just in case you're stuck. Other than that, I'm going to get running. I will see you guys later. Enjoy the worksheet, and I'll see you on the next one.